and it's lights out and away we go here in Formula Sundays. Through the final chicane, and the AlphaTauri hits the wall of champions. Welcome back, everybody, and welcome to another beautiful week of Formula Sundays. And yeah, here we are in Spain this weekend. Once more with me in the casting booth, Kingsman for Challenger, and later we're gonna have Solar for Elite. Yeah, how you doing?
Yeah, good. Delighted to be back as always for the Challenger tier, obviously the lower tier, and the first one of the night. I think we've got a reduced number of people lining up as 15 instead of, I think it was the 19 last week. But I'm expecting a less chaotic race than last weekend. Last weekend was more a survive to drive or drive to survive. So hopefully this weekend we can get some good racing towards the top.
Yeah, I see Mikey in the chat there saying, oh, someone isn't there. Yeah, it's you, my guy. Where you at? Hop on F1. Not too late. You can still join with Quali. As Tutor will in a second, as soon as I can invite him.
Yeah, obviously we'll get the late runners. So 15 is just your low provision, let's say, for now. Obviously, I'm not going to jinx anyone because last week, whenever I said someone was going to do well, they absolutely denied my expectation. I said Nitro would do well. Nope, he got binned off. Fanta, I said, would get pole. He didn't even make it onto the front row. So today, I think I'm just going to sit back, not jinx, and hopefully we'll see a good fight for pole like there was last weekend.
How do I go to the next page in this?
That's probably a chat question. I don't have many friends, so I wouldn't know. But both alphas firing out of the gates very quickly in Ocean and Nitro. Ocean back, I believe, after a race ban in Saudi Arabia. So good to see what he can do this specific weekend. I'm not a big fan really of the side by side antics on qualifying because it leaves you too close then for when one wants to go on a flying lap. But all drivers slowly starting to peel out of the pit lane now as Tutor eventually joins the session. He'll be the lone Red Bull as it stands at the moment. So fingers crossed he can pull up something good for them and get them some constructors points today.
Yeah, better hope so. I mean, he has had promising pace in the past. And yeah, if he stays out of trouble, I guess he's usually in for a good result. We have another driver like that, I guess, who we won't see today. As you may see, only one. Oh no, actually, it's Steel Sneeze here coming in the Aston Martin. Reserving for Flavinho, who has a race ban today. Not necessarily only due to bad racecraft, but mainly due to an excessive amount of resetting back to track. You get these penalty points very quick, and yeah, I don't know.
You do, and it's harsh for those. I think it's tough for those who might not fully notice that it was. I don't think Flavinho really knew the consequences of his thing. But yeah, both alphas still right behind each other, both on laps. I don't know how much that's gonna destroy that, or certainly Ocean's time. Nitro being the lead AlphaTauri, he's gonna get a good first lap, and even though it's showing pit limiter on his wheel, we know that's certainly not true. It'll be very interesting to see how far behind Ocean is. I reckon those two will be near the top, so it'll be good as sort of a pace setter, really, a sort of goal for the others, and it's going to be Nitro sitting down on 1:11.6. Just beats out his teammate, who I think can do a better lap without following.
Yeah, very close together here right now, the two AlphaTauris. Let's see Cuban Boy coming through. It's another newcomer here tonight, subbing in for Ferrari. joining Antaminum alongside, who has his home Grand Prix. No, no, I don't want to get killed. Nah, but I think he does at least like Spain a decent bit, even
He
like
does,
the
yeah.
track. I'm sure there's like a friendly neighborhood rivalry between Portugal and Spain, IRL.
Oh, I'm sure he loves the country, but yeah, no, I was speaking to him beforehand, and it is one of his favourite tracks. So he is hoping that he does well here, and no other driver that has put a time on the board yet goes ahead. And there you go. I was about to say no other driver, but then Fanta just beats Nitro by 14 thousandths here as the both Alphas peel off into the pit lane.
Huge gap there between 1 and 2. Really, the
1
Grand
and 3
Canyon,
even.
Phantominum in another league right now. But yeah, he had a pretty horrible performance in Saudi Arabia. I think I can just say that and have it be a fair assessment. Daddy just
retired.
died apparently.
Oh, what a shame. Anyway.
And yeah, Phantominum, yeah, of course, wants to get back into the championship mix. Hasn't had the bestest of season starts, if I remember correctly, so far. Randro has at least taken one win away, and I'm not sure if not another. Plus that botched race in Saudi Arabia.
I think it's 2 DNFs out of the 3 for him.
Oh yeah.
For start of the season, and he won obviously the other one in China very dominantly. Let's say it was a performance. But Randro, as we talked about, only sits in P5 at the moment, 4/10 off the pace at the moment. So he's got a bit of work to do if he wants to re-establish himself and keep that. Well, I think it's a pretty big championship lead that he's got. I will just go in and double check. It is a 33-point lead to Glenn, who is currently in second, and it's Nitro and Fanta who topped off the top 4. So yeah, Randro pretty dominant at the minute, but I think that's just due to a array of consistent performances, and yeah, staying out of trouble really.
Yeah. On board with Sean right now, who had a decent result last time around as well, or it was the race before. I don't quite remember. I think it was last week. Yeah. Currently also own the only car on a hot lap, if I'm not mistaken, unless someone just started it. The 2 cars ahead should get out of the way. Let's see if they do that. It's a lot easier here than around other tracks.
Yeah, he does.
Good there. Moving aside. Just before he needs to go, actually. Might have been a little bit too late. I'm not sure if he lacks exit speeds. I have honestly not driven the new Spain layout. And I'm not entirely sure if you... Do you need to lift or brake in the last turn now because it's quicker?
On new tyres, not really.
Okay.
I think you can go just about flat out. If Seagull's watching, he will confirm. But I'm pretty sure you can go through flat out. But yeah, Tutor, I think, really should have let Sean go the bit before. Then he's got the chicane to build up speed. It's really one motion he needs. But yeah, is he flashing as well?
He's what?
Flashing? No, he's not.
I'm not sure if he is. But yeah, Jim's saying.
Is he not using? He's not using, I don't think.
In the border of being flat in the race. Like on the second stint, for example, you can with a good tire still, because the car is lighter. But yeah. So it is flat in quali. I am pretty sure Sean lifted there briefly.
Yeah, just a slight bit, I think. But that's very common when you're not like acquainted with the track very much. You don't know how much you can push it. As you see Astral coming around the final corner, he's going to take it flat out. Pretty much flat out. That's how you should be taking that corner. He comes round for a 1:12.3, goes ahead of the retired Deddy. I still don't know what happened to him, whether that was a retirement on track or him actually being up in the wall. We'll never find out. But also on a lap, we've got Nitro and Ocean. Nitro a 10th up here. If he can hold this going through Sector 3, he will snatch pole position provisionally from Fanta. So
we've just seen Glenn impeding Martin in 4K.
I missed it.
Apparently, Daddy has also hit the pit entry, which is what prompted him to DNF. Ocean retired from the session in the pits, though. I'm not quite sure why yet. Nitro has improved in the meantime. Why am I on Astral's PV? I think Glenn is driving right now.
Yeah, very nice lap though from Nitro. Puts him up against Fanta, but I know I've seen Fanta do better laps, so if he can pull one out here, it'd be good. But yeah, as you were on board with Glenn, I've just switched over. He's 4/10 down in the so I think it might be abandoned. And with the amount of fuel you have, you can do 2 out laps successfully. I'm gonna hop on board with Steeled Sneeze, who hasn't set a lap time yet, but I believe he's pretty competitive until his crash last week. I can't remember who it was with, but I know it was a very. I remember we said it was a very silly collision, or just unnecessary in a sense.
Apparently, Ocean pressed the pit limiter button and then got teleported into the wall. This would be a new one. Like the game is almost at the end of its amusement to us. But there's still new bugs coming out, if that is true. Otherwise, this could just be massive cope. Oh,
it's cope. I feel it's cope.
Yeah. I mean, even if it's true, it's cope.
Yeah. Get wrecked, nerd. Anyway.
Yeah, right.
Steel Sneeze, drives to the line. It's a nice P6 as well. Cutting the line thin between Randro and Cuban Boy. Plotting up into P6. We got numerous drivers on laps. I was just about to flip then 4 seconds down here. DJ, I'm going to flip on board with the other Mercedes. He's done 2 out laps. He's not using that ERS, so no idea. Has he forgot to turn it on?
Minum is currently 2000s behind Nitro in his Delta. This could be very close here for the top spot if Fanta gets a good last sector. Takes last corner flat out, as he is supposed to. And that is a big improvement still. Gains another half-tenth to go provisional pole.
Yeah, good lap again, but just ahead of Nitro. Nitro will be looking at that and saying that is very doable. He can for sure gain 600ths here and pull it back onto Fanta here. But one person I'm looking at is Randro, who I think should not be 8/10 off the pace. He's a 10th down on his previous lap time, so maybe a banging final sector. No, he abandons and.
No, he lost it a little bit in the corner before already, and just
gear shift
all around not the best last sector. Gear shift guru, yeah, as you said, is not on a hot lap. I think neither is Solar. Martin is though. Yeah, Martin just starts.
Ooh.
Yeah, he had his previous fast lap denied by low outlappers. If this happens again, he will at least have time to go back to the pits immediately and take another attempt. I'm not sure if he can get 2 attempts if he just completes the lap and then has an in-lap, but it might be possible on 6 minutes.
Yeah, it's a very short track, so I think it's more than possible. Obviously, he's got no Delta to look out for, but Nitro is not going to be involved in any griefing today as he moves out the way. And then Astral, who might give him a tow here down the straight, or will move. I mean, either works. I'm sure Martin's not complaining either way as he comes down the straight. Now, he'll be looking, I think, somewhere around Glenn and Randro. He's amongst that Championship 5. I think he went purple in Sector 2 here. I'd be very interested to see, or maybe that's a game bug. I know it could be a big game bug.
I'm not sure if it isn't the fastest time. I could think it is, but it is definitely also purple when he PBs, which he has.
Nice.
It might have been a fast time, honestly. He just overshot the turn after the Sector 3 beginning, the left-hander, by quite a bit, unless that is a line. Quite possible that he lost a sizable amount of time there.
It's not, no.
Nitro is on Intes, so he is not improving.
But questionable, I think, more than anything. Not really the tyre I'd go out on if I was looking to improve my lap time, but you never know. Nitro could be cooking something up on those softs, but as I say, someone who did go past him on a lap again is Astral in P10. He's got 2/10, 3/10 here. Will move him up a lot of positions. It's very tight in that midfield
Yeah.
positions between, I think, more than 5th and 9th, separated by just over a 10th here. And Astral comes around not up by a lot. This third sector is going to have to be a monster here as he brings it very tight, very nicely round here. I don't know if it's going to be enough for the 3/10 or 2/10 you need, or he might just
Well-
abandon and try and go again. Well, he's completing the lap, and let's see, it's going to be... No, it's not an improvement.
Yeah. I mean, I think, well, I don't know. Maybe like he has a setup that does not allow him to do that, but he does do the brake tap and shift down that Jimsky said you do in the race.
Yeah.
In the last turn, whereas it should theoretically be flat, but at the same time here, on board with Tutor right now, who took the last turn in 6th gear, which is even lower. Yeah, I'm not sure what is good there, but Tutor seems to be a little bit off the
6th or
pace here
7th,
as well.
I reckon. 6th or 7th, that final corner, I think. More than anything, 6th if you want to be safe. But let's see, 4/10 up, and that's just in that first sector alone. At the minute, he's already looking to go above of Deddy, and I'm sure, knowing Tutor's pace, he'll be looking somewhere around Astral or potentially Cuban in that sort of zone. So it'll be interesting to see how much he improves by the end of the second sector, because those are more the technical parts of the track done as he comes down the straight here. It's going to be looking for about a second improvement, and it's 8/10. He's looking at massive improvement here, but somehow not an invalidation.
Yeah,
I don't know about that one.
that was
But anyway,
very wide, but I guess like if it's not cutting the track, maybe it is forgivable at some point. I don't know. Tutor
let's
coming
see.
through here last turn. The second improvement you said about where Astral is
Astral.
now. He's just ahead
Yeah.
of that, not managing to catch any of the cars in front. DJ is super slow here. Not gonna be setting a quick lap on this attempt.
Yeah.
Where's Den? Den has just started his one, I think.
yes, I think so. And also something to note: Nitro has retired, so all being good, unless there's major improvement, I think Fanta will be sat on pole position come at the end of qualifying.
I have added information that
Oh.
this also is not a voluntary retirement. Oh my god, Den.
Oh my god! Oh, he's on an outlap. It's fine. That's a very
Glenn,
interesting re-entry to track, though.
That was
think.
definitely dangerous. I mean, it's fine, you say, but like tire temps are gonna be gone. I don't know if there's
No, it's not
damage
fine.
for Glenn, but yeah, we will see, I guess.
Tutor's showing off the new Red Bull lawnmower here. It seems to be not very good at cutting the grass, though, so I don't really know about its value in terms of cutting grass. But anyway, let's see, is there anyone on a lap apart from DJ, who's 3/10 up after the first sector? We get rear wing cam here, something I've always hated in this game, because I do not want to see DJ's rear wing as he's 2/10 up. It only puts him ahead of Deddy as it sits, so he's going to need a big sector 3 here, but lots of drivers on outlaps, so there can be a lot of improvement and there's a lot of movement, especially in those midfield positions.
Yeah, I mean, Nitro and Ocean both found the pit wall. Den has lost it again. Hope he doesn't rejoin unsafely yet again. At least lets Martin by safely. Martin is just ever so slightly up after Sector 1. He has a little bit of a gap to overcome. To Ocean, it's 1.5 tenths to him, another 1.5 to Nitro, and another half 10 to Fanta. But P4, I think, is a position where he would be relatively happy for now, unless this is like one of his strongest tracks. I think then there's room for more, but I think like on average, his pace has been around the top 3 in quali and a bit quicker in race pace. So we'll see if he can cook up an improvement here in this last sector. This was not very good in his previous lap. Now approaching the last turn. And it is half a tenth, but not enough to noticeably improve. Glenzelk, a second down. Let's see what
2/10 up,
Randro
but
is.
that would put him just... Oh, it's going to be very close between him and Martin. I think he might just get Martin. Potentially, no, he doesn't. He loses that time. He just still go ahead of Glenn, though, as Fanta just flexing, putting down a quicker time, just showing everyone, yeah, I could have done it if I wanted to. A Steel
Bro,
sneeze.
You say that, but he improved by like 300s or something.
Oh no!
It was like barely anything.
No. It's fine. He shows everyone it's consistent pace.
That's true, honestly.
It's not like, oh yeah, this was a one-off lap. Because if that's the sort of, because he was consistently, what is it, 1:11.5, then a 1:11.3 times 2. I think this definitely could be one of Fanta's runaway races. If he can continue consistently doing quick laps, this could be a hell of a race. But don't count. I'm not going to count the 2 AlphaTauris out.
Yeah, not at all. They have been quite strong if they survived, I guess. Consistency has been the main issue for them. Randro, I think Fanta will be delighted to see, not quite on pace and quali at least, has been definitely the fiercest competitor of Fanta so far. So yeah, Fanta might be in a really good position here to eventually make up some ground in the championship again. Otherwise, any particularly interesting starting positions coming through here? I've not seen where the newcomers are quite yet, but let's see. Cuban on 8, and Steel Sneeze here, second appearance on P5 for now, is I think very decent and a worthy replacement maybe for
Yeah, agreed. Good qualifying. Not as much battling for pole as I expected, but Nitro and Fanta keeping it very close at the top. Don't know what happened to Deddy. I think a bit of copium into the pit wall. But Solar and Sean share in the back row, I think, for the second weekend in a row. And I think turn 1's going to be very interesting going into it, because Spain turn 1 is certainly very interesting.
Yeah, I do hope we get through cleanly, but, well, gotta be realistic. Is it gonna happen? Likely not. Do I think there's gonna be the... Also likely not. It's a very far open area, the turn 1 and 2. Of course, contact should be avoided if possible.
We all know that's not always the case of avoiding contact, especially if you're Astral, who hasn't finished a race yet this season, and he'll be looking to finish his first one. I know he's been very frustrated since a lot of the races haven't been necessarily his fault, the reason he's DNF'd. So it'll be interesting to see what he can potentially do here. And yeah, obviously we've got to wait for everyone to load back in and do the formation lap. But what I'm wondering is, can Fanta be far enough ahead going into turn 1 that he can make it through cleanly and just let everyone else behind him go side by side and lose themselves time so he can go ahead?
So he is starting on the outside of, I'd guess, a minor disadvantage. Was this the track where Alonso was putting the extra rubber on the right side because starting there is so horrible?
I don't know.
Or was this Portugal? This might have been Portugal. But
either way, Fanta's home race.
Yeah, right, same thing.
Yeah.
Was challenged at pole time? I think a 11.3. Yeah. 11.36. But yeah, honestly, I was about to say it's a little bit away. It was just a 10th behind P2. I think the broad majority has been in the
12 zeros, I reckon.
Yeah,
most of the midfield.
Yeah. I was about to say 11.10s, but no.
11. That'd be good going if someone was getting 11.10. I'd be a bit confused how the thing died on like that.
But yeah, we may see. A lot of different choices. Pretty much split 50-50 here across the grid between medium and soft runners. Slight advantage for the soft runners. Yeah, 7 to
Yeah.
9. Yeah, I mean, soft medium unfortunately is on most tracks the only real option because there's just no reason to go for any different strat
Yeah.
on 35% races. So we're gonna see. Nitro vs Panther fight we have been waiting for. Actually true. Like, this has been one of the fights, of course, with you involved last season, still for the top positions. But somehow these two have not really been ending up at the top together to fight things out. Andros all the way down P6 will have to make his way past at least the medium runners fairly quick. But yeah, we're parking up now. Only Solar and the Williams, and here we are. I don't even see the lights. Great.
Well, neither. No, it's good, but we'll see when all the cars move. Hopefully.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Which
hear
there
the
we
engine
go.
sound. You hear the engine sounds going up before they actually move, because I think that's just time coded. Big start coming through by Martin though. He's all the way to P2 already. Has had a absolute lightning start there. Randro was briefly in P3 as well, but pushed down a bit again. It's now, yeah, Fanta, Martin, Nitro. Something must have happened to Ocean. He lost a lot of positions. Bad start by him, maybe tire disadvantage. Everybody got through nicely. Not even a single big hit or spin. And yeah, the position's largely unchanged. It's only really Ocean who's the big loser of the start here. Dropping all the way from 3rd to 7th, and Nitro getting jumped there by Martin as well, who had an absolute banger of a start.
Yeah, it was a brilliant start for him. He got way ahead of Nitro, and even Martin had probably the best start of the lot, gaining those
Oh
two
my.
positions and all contact lower down in the field between Gearshift and DJ. Luckily, though, no big contact here. As you said, everyone making it through with no big accident, and Fanta's already gone into the distance. A 1.2-second gap to
Yeah.
Martin, and he is just going to look to extend that. And he's going to give them no chance of even being within DRS come lap 3.
Yeah, I think that is like the dream scenario for him as well. Not that Martin is particularly slow, but he's definitely rather... I'm not calling him consistent. He consistently finds a wall every single race, but I think pace-wise he's definitely not the second fastest driver we have here. So this gives Fanta a little bit of an opportunity to push up. Steeled Sneeze there has finally conceded position to Randro, as he has been sliding around 1 or 2 times in the opening lap. Almost lost the position then and there. Now down to P5, has to defend himself against the Haas on the mediums as well. Might be a little bit easier than against one of the best drivers considering race pace here. With Randro, who I would say is probably our second fastest driver right now. Oh, contact further down, Ferrari and a McLaren. And it is once more Astral, finding Cuban Boy there apparently. Who lost plenty of positions as well.
Yeah, more importantly, lost time. Astral's now 6 seconds behind. Cuban coming into the pits, and Astral not having to. That's big for
Oh, 3
Cuban if he
wide
has to
into turn
replace.
1.
Oh
And
no.
it is Martin coming out there, slow steel sneeze there with the rear end and catching his car. It was already sliding, looking like it was gonna leave. But yeah, steel sneeze there, losing the position to Glenzelk. I'm curious whether there's front wing damage. This was quite a hefty rear end. Seems like that Aston Martin is built like a tank. Yeah, a little bit of a squeeze there by Randro Nitro against Martin, who was on the outside there, and thus ultimately the losing side. And what a move by Randro to get past both of the cars ahead of him.
Yeah, and that's the sort of moves you're making when you're top of the championship and looking to push on from it. And but Nitro and Randro have both gapped him, and Astral has spun again, and the VSC is out. think. Potentially he's lost his front wing. Yeah, no front wing
Oh,
for Astral.
mm.
Obviously, tires will be cooked after that spin, and the VSC has come out good. For I don't know who of any of the soft runners. Deddy, Deddy on the softs. No, he's not. Damn, I
Oh,
was going to say a Deddy lap 2 pit for hards. The sacred strategy, as they call it down here in Challenger
I
tier. But
am not sure if that is quite the sacred strategy. I'm gonna be real with you. He's
it's
probably
Deddy's
like,
sacred strategy.
yeah, fair. DRS enabled again. We're going again. Astral is gonna go into the pits here, getting himself a new front wing. Yeah, he lost it, I think, in the first turn of that chicane in the middle of the track. Like, very treacherous because it goes into that slight downhill. There's like a real bump downwards towards the apex of the first turn. And then you, of course, go uphill, and the camber of the turn is like a little bit to the outside. Very easy to spin here.
One of the many, as they say on this track. But yeah, Astral and Cuban will both be hoping for a safety car now. Astral will be about 40 seconds off of 14th place. So, and I don't think that is gainable back for most of the drivers in this tier. So, a drive, just time trial laps and just hope for a safety car, which I'm sure as drivers come to the end of their first stint, there will be due to potentially lacking tyre wear, as Den making a move on Solar, who has spun round himself. So, I was talking about people spinning at the end of their stint. We're only on lap 5 here. We've had 3 drivers spin and a nice overtake from Glenn to move him up ahead of Martin as well.
Yeah, and both, I think, Steel Sneeze and Glenn just got through Martin there. It looked like he was overtaken twice. DRS seems to be quite powerful here. You can apparently make moves from very far back, especially with the higher speed that you now have on the start-finish straight. Gives you a lot more time that you potentially spend at full speed. It is Tutor and Martin here, and I think, yeah, it was maybe Tutor sticking the wheel a little bit too ambitiously, and thus making contact with Martin. Not quite sure. We'll probably see it again in the reports, but yeah.
Dare I say, what a surprise! It's Tutor again. But I can
don't
say
know,
that
man.
as I'm not a ref. But it looked
You
very
can't
much
say
from
that as you're
behind
not a ref, that is true.
that he has. It looks like from what I see, he's tapped the back of Martin and spun him round. Ended up in a T-bone. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's just Tutor hating the McLarens. He's done it to Astral twice this season, and wants to
At this
Martin now.
point,
So
I'm not entirely sure if it is also the McLaren's hating Tutor. Also, he was cleared not guilty in at least one of the Astral incidents that you are referencing.
I don't look at them. I don't look at the Challenger verdicts.
Yeah, fair enough.
Don't blame me, man. I just hear what I'm told.
Yeah,
But
well, fair. You're spreading
anyway,
misinformation then. Oh my god.
no, never.
Alright.
Anyway, at the top, Nitro has got back past Randro for that P2. It's turning up to be quite a fight for those 2 podium positions on offer. I'm not going to count Fantas. He's 4 seconds in the lead already and is just having no issues at all here. I think we'll probably be catching Astral later into the race if there is no safety car here, but Steel Sneeze, he's looking to make a move on Ranger. Obviously, be in front of for those medium runners. His tires will eventually get better than those on the soft. So I reckon around lap 10, 11, or even earlier, he would be needing to make some sort of move or some sort of appearance into Randro.
So let's see. Lenzalk and Steel Sneeze both with the DRS, but so is Randro. It looked like Steel Sneeze had a good speed out of it. He is kind of sliding in every single time. Also still fast too, so quite sure what's up with that. Maybe that's just like a thing. The game not portraying his car position correctly. It's very close between these guys. No contact there. DJ seems to have spun a little bit further down, but seems to have been able to get going again by himself and not run into anybody else.
Oh, thank goodness. I'm sure Astro and Cuban won't be saying thank goodness though. They're looking for some sort of incident up the field. So yeah, and it's back to that fight up top. Obviously, Glenn has gapped Ocean. Really, it's just him and Gear Shift, and then a big gap down to Sean. So yeah, it'd be very interesting to see what these guys can produce really to potentially gain the time back, or even if that little train can pull themselves further away from Ocean.
Yeah, Nitro, they just ever so slightly lost DRS, or well, lost like 3000s, so Randro had DRS on the straight. Randro's still not able to defend himself. Too far back to get some actual slipstream in, maybe. But yeah, Nitro on the verge of speeding away. DJ there, additional, yeah, bad news for him, I guess, as he speeds in the pit lane. Martin going into the pits right now. I'm not sure if this is already the planned stop. Like 15 laps from here, which is, I assume, possible on mediums. But I think
Yeah,
that you
it's
could
definitely
maybe
possible.
go like one softs.
Yeah, yeah, you definitely go 15 laps on the mediums, but it just becomes tougher. Obviously, towards the end of that stint in Ocean, they're getting a 3-second off. Steel Sneeze just looking very uneven coming out that final corner. So
Randro coming for the undercut. After having made contact with Glenzalk there, out of Sector 3, realizes that he only has time to gain from an alternate strategy. And honestly, yeah, he could get a lot of people if that undercut works out well for him. I'd assume that everybody of the soft runners is going to come in this or the next lap then. And yeah, we may see how much it brings him.
yeah,
Well,
maybe. But I think you can definitely extend the life of the softs. The undercut worth, I reckon, about a second and a half a lap around here. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how much it gains him and if it forces Nitro to potentially box or Fanta meet Fanta. I don't really think Fanta will have to be forced to react. He's got that gap, so he can just do what he wants really. But it'd be interesting to see if he decides it's this lap and it is this lap for Fanta. He decides it's time to pit for a fresh set of those mediums, and Nitro will follow suit. So provisional race lead will be handed to Steel Sneeze here. I don't know if he's led a Formula Sundays lap
to be
before.
honest, I think he
So,
actually has on his debut.
oh wow.
I know there was some newcomer that did get into the exact same position as he is in right now. I'm not sure, 100% sure if it was him, but it might as well have been him. So yeah.
Yeah, and now we're seeing if the undercut worked to Randro against Nitro, and DJ has retired on track, I think. I think he's gone to the hards and he's just retired on track. Unluckily for those at the back, and luckily for those who have just pitted, may I add, it's not a safety car. That would have caused a lot of controversy, I think, and a lot of arguing had it caused a safety car, considering those on the mediums,
Was it a
or those on
retirement?
softs have just boxed.
You can spin here quite easily and hit the wall
No, I
on the
saw
left.
the car driving
Okay,
off
fair.
to a marshal post. So,
Never mind then.
but yeah, I know what you mean. I think if it had been a crash DNF, I think a safety car would have been brought out, which
Yeah.
would have been so unfortunate.
Well, overall, where do we have our people? We have Fanta still about 5 seconds clear of Nitro. Randro has gotten past Martin at least. If he was behind. Oh no, Martin has been pushed down the field very, very far, so that was never an issue. I think the interesting thing is just when the current top 3, or rather top 4, come in. Maybe even Sean, honestly, but I'm quite sure why he's still extending. There's
Never know.
really no
Hoping for a
need.
safety car.
Yeah, I guess, but it has to come soon, and at some point you gotta abandon hope.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean, but it's worth a shot. I mean, if you're lurking around the midfield, you might as well go for it. I think this lap has to be the box lap though, because Fanta is just going to clear him very, very easily. So we'll see. He's still got 80% DRS, and he's getting a nice little toe as well from the car. I'm wondering if Nitro is able to clear Den as well further back. He is, and that should create some breathing room between himself and Randro. But Sean now is going to be holding Fanta a little bit through Sector 3. He is going to give him DRS, though, I believe, as he peels off into the pits now. He is going to get DRS, so it comes back eventually.
Was super close there by Sean in the pit entry. Was almost the next victim to that little edge in the wall. But yeah, as I'm reading chat right now, yeah, Lauda, unfortunately, like, the game is only made really to have 20 drivers and 2 spectators, so assuming we're being full, yeah, no way you can join and spectate, fortunately. Also, you're not driving that bad. I mean, like, there have been a few incidents leading to the race ban here, but the safety car's coming out. What has happened? Oh, Nitro has DNF'd. Oh, what?
Nitro is in the wall. And that's going to be massive for the soft runners. The soft runners are going to be launching into the pit lane. Fanta is 10 seconds behind Steeled Sneeze. Has he done enough here to keep out in front? That's where my eyes going to be peeled. And Steeled Sneeze, Glenn, Gearshift, and Ocean all going to be coming out on those fresher, soft compound of tyres. So they will have a huge advantage. And if they can be ahead of Fanta coming out of the pit lane, it'll be huge here. But Fanta's just coming around the final corner. Steeled Sneeze has just entered the box, put the fresh set of softs on. It's going to be very close, I think, coming around. But Fanta's just done enough, I think, to stay ahead. But not going to be good, as he's going to have Steeled Sneeze right behind him on fresh softs.
At least there is a little bit of a gap to Randro now, if you would assume that Fanta has a little bit of a advantage pace-wise against Steel Sneeze, at least. Yeah, Fanta almost overtaking the safety car, doing the good old Aries here. Oh man, he was like on track once to win here in Spain as well, and then he just didn't see the safety car. Drove past it and got
Average
disqualified.
Fabian moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens to the best of us. Not best in Aries' case, but Fabian's case. As, yeah, we all group up here. I'm curious to see, and I'm very shocked to see Astral hasn't pitted onto a soft set of tyres. You'd think, being at the back, he's got nothing to lose.
Oh yeah, true. He should have, absolutely.
Tyres. But maybe the safety car will be out for another lap here.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But surely he does, because those hards, he will just get blown away on the exit, and he'll be near no one.
Yeah, Nitro coming in with his Raiders here, as saying that he has clipped the grass, spun by himself apparently then. Yeah, that's unfortunate. At least not... Oh well, at least it's self-induced. I say as a ref, you're probably not gonna be much happier about that it's your own fault neither, but hey, it is what it is.
Right about it.
I mean, you can say it like that, but...
Wise words.
Sure. Speaking words of wisdom. Cry about it.
Always. Ocean's gone onto the hard tyres though, so very, very interesting. Astral not pitting either. I don't know. I think he should have. Just even for a set of the mediums.
Yeah, I don't get it. I literally don't get it.
Yeah, this is a disaster class, as they call it, from himself. But now that everyone is lined up under the safety car, any topics of interest?
Any topics of interest? Question. I've heard rumors about Paris signing for another year at Red Bull. That's a point of interest after Alonso has confirmed that he stays at Aston Martin. I'm looking forward to for silly season. Like, nothing against Checo personally, but just ass in comparison. I want to see Sainz in the Red Bull, and then maybe Albon in the Mercedes.
Bro does want silly season.
Oh yeah,
Doom
man.
is
I
such
am
a fan.
so in it. I am.
Doom is waiting for drama.
Dude, like honestly, I can't lie. This is maybe like a little bit sad, but the day where there was like the announcement that Hamilton might go to Ferrari, and it just like got more and more confirmed during the day. Like one of the most exciting days I can remember.
Doom was refreshing the Ferrari page on Twitter. He's just like, refresh.
I was
That's not
like,
happened
no,
yet.
guys, please.
But
anyways, we bridged a lap successfully. It is too late now for Astral to pit. Unlucky.
yeah, that's a disaster, I think, from him. The strategy, absolutely zero. I personally, if I was still his teammate, would have told him to have boxed, but maybe he does not have such a good race engineer as Fanta. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Fanta's race engineer. I don't know the cat's name,
Oh yeah, true.
but
Yeah, he is very skilled. He's a bit
yes,
EP, but say.
yes, still does the job brilliantly. And I think Martin's got Tutor on the restart, maybe, and he's having a look at Ocean now. Martin again with one of his restart of dreams. Always a bit of wheel banging.
Yeah, contact, and Ocean
gonna get it, though.
Yeah, barely keeps it on track now. Might be under attack from Tutu as well. Oh, further up. We see Glenzel getting past Randro here. Tire advantage for the Haas, of course.
Yeah, and a good move. And Steel Sneeze is looking all up at Fanta, who goes wide here.
My God.
Oh my god, and a bit of contact. I think Fanta gave him enough room, but Steel Sneeze pulls it down the inside. Fanta still hanging it round, going through to the second straight here. Fanta backs out, but does that open the door for Glenn here? Fanta, who was looking your easy race winner, getting eaten up by those on the new soft tires. As Glenn is going to send it down the inside, and those newer tires will do the work for him. Oh, and he's spun Fanta.
It was just a bit too much, and there is his front wing. Honestly, safety car again at least, so he can pit relatively cheaply, but
Astral, please pit, my man.
Yes, but come in.
Please, you've been given a second chance.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Yes. I'm a happy man now. But yeah, it gives everyone a chance to come onto soft tyres. But I just don't think Glenn's giving him sufficient room here. And that's going to be killer for Fanta. But it's going to give him a chance to go onto soft at least. But it might leave him at the back of the grid.
It's tough for him. But admittedly, like, I'm not quite sure who is at fault. I'm just saying, as Fanta there, maybe I back out and like try to follow the top two on their fresh softs and wait for my chance as the race goes on and the softs get weaker again. Right now he's 14th. He could have been 3rd and easy running. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the first safety car come out, he'd been first in easy running.
Yeah,
he was
true.
Provisionally far quicker, and the undercut would have given him lots of time over Randro, who would have been provisionally in second place. So yeah, I don't know. It's one of those where I'm gonna say it as I think it is. Fanta's done nothing wrong this race, and a safety car has just brought everything together. And the two cars, the Haas and Aston, far too eager to get past. And I think Steel Sneeze has done it fairly.
I mean,
but I think
it's about as
contact.
good as you can make it if you want to go side by side through the entirety of this track.
Yeah.
Like, there's gonna be some wheel banging. This is an amateur league with heavy desync because the game sucks. And ultimately, even if you drive it mega clean, like, you will get some contact eventually. But yeah, it is really unfortunate that Fanta is in the way, in the place where he is right now. He has 6 laps to make things up. Randro in a very good position now, as he's the first one of the late pitters. Might make up a couple of positions. And Steel Sneeze there, now in P1. Might have the chance to grab his maiden win here.
Yeah, there's a big idea. Obviously, I was going to put Glenn in the running, but he's got a 3-second time penalty, and I don't. As I said, I didn't see the incident either, really, and a potential penalty coming his way. But yeah, also someone that snuck up there, Gear Shift Guru, who was about 10th, 11th all race running. Oh, sorry, 7th or 8th running with Ocean. He's now looking very nice up in the mix, especially with between contact between those two at the front. I think Ocean might be a bit of a blockade for those behind him, but this restart will be very interesting, especially for Randro.
Yeah, and I assume safety car is gonna come in this lap, so we'll see soon. Honestly, at least, like, the things about such short tracks is a big advantage that the safety cars don't take as long.
Yeah.
We barely even started waffling. Oh my god, and I see I see a lot of broken front wings. This is like
Oh my.
half the grid has front wing damage, and the other
Yeah,
half has brain damage from seeing this.
yeah,
What is
I don't really
Gearshift
know.
Guru doing?
There's Steady doesn't have a front wing.
Sean hasn't
Then,
gotten a front wing at all. Cuban Boy
oh
is
my
missing a
god,
half. Daddy has none.
Ocean's in the gravel. Oh my, what has happened? Yeah, that's rough. Well, at least Fanta has a better chance now as Steel Sneeze puts it to the floor. Not Fanta. Glenn is stuck very well with him. Gear Shift Guru as well, but the
Oh my
gap
god, Cuban Boy.
downwards. Oh
He's
no.
not really made the turn, let's phrase it like that. All the way down to
Aye, aye,
P10 now.
aye.
Oh, this is chaos, pure chaos. Top 2 here, remarkably, have gotten away without front wing damage, and maybe the race for the win here if Glenn can find the gap in the end to make up the 3-second time penalty that he currently has.
Yeah, be very interesting, especially with the gap between Gear Shift and Randro being
Also,
so high
what
as
do you
well.
mean? This is like, yeah, you are correct. But Randro started this restart in 10th?
Oh yeah. No,
He
I'm
is
not saying
like
that.
already back there. He's gonna smoke these guys in the last few
Oh
laps.
yeah, he's had a mega restart, but still, it's 2.5 seconds in 5 laps. Not saying that he can't do it,
Oh, he
but
will do
he's
it.
also got that. Yeah, he will, but he's got that time penalty as well, 5 seconds.
Yeah,
So
that
I
might be
don't think a
cleared
race
though.
wins. Yeah, again, it's one of those where I don't know, but Martin's looking up the back of Randro, so that could be a possibility. But Steel Sneeze puts down the fastest lap and says, "Bring it on to anyone else who wants to try and compete." Which at the minute I think is only going to be Glenn.
We will see. Fanta is up into P8, but still has all the medium runners to clear before he can close up to the top. I mean, yeah, Randro has not been as quick as usual around here, so he may actually not even be able to close in. Martin is following his pace though, has half a second gained top 3 in the last lap or so. And yeah, Gearshift Guru looks like he's losing a little bit of time. I'm not sure
Yeah,
what
he
happened
is.
there.
I think it's Gear Shift was about 0.8 behind Glenn, so very interesting. But yeah, I think they're losing it and gaining it because they've all drained a huge amount of DRS down to Martin, who's on 50%. So it's very possible for Andrew to catch up, but he's not gaining as much as he was in previous laps, and he's got 3% ERS. So I think this race is very much well, if Glenn's penalty is it a 3 second? Yeah, it is. It's very much Steel sneezes to lose here as Fanta gets past the first medium runner in Astral, trying to make his way and salvage back as many points as he can here. Chuso obviously up next, but then it's a 2.4 second gap to Martin, who is on the back of Randro. I don't think he'll make an overtake, bear in mind, but yeah, it'd be very good potential to see a bit of a battle between those two. And say further down, you've got not much really happening. I think the closest battle has obviously been Martin, Randro, and then Glenn and Steeled. And then apart from that, I think everyone else has settled out pretty nicely. And yeah, I think the top 10 pretty much secured here as Deddy 21 seconds back.
Glenn is just following with half a second of a distance. Might be an attack coming due to DRS being active again. And honestly, if he wants to make this spicy, he needs an overtake ASAP. Who knows if Steel Sneeze knows that Glenn has that penalty, honestly. I'm not sure if that's shown to you in game.
What is?
As a driver, the penalties of other cars.
Oh yeah, it is.
Okay, it is. So, you'll likely know. Martin has gotten past Randro, which is interesting. It seems like Martin quicker on the mediums than Randro on his softs.
Yeah, but those two won't want to be battling too much. Obviously, they don't want to lose too much time to gear shift in front as the battle up top continues, and down below. In Fanta's case, he's only 0.4 behind, and Fanta picks up a 3. Oh, sorry, Astral picks up a 3-second time penalty. Still, Fanta's still gaining on Tutor, but again, Glenn's just hovering, as you mentioned, that half a second mark, not really making an impression on Steel Sneeze at the moment, and it will lead to, because Steel Sneeze has the ERS advantage going into it. It seems to have the pace advantage as well as, funnily enough, we're seeing Steel Sneeze come back into the AI of Ocean here, and Seagull and Jimsky, if they're in chat, will know the AI is really slow through the corners here, so it'll be very interesting to see if the AI impedes the front runners at all as Fanta gets past Tutor into P6.
Fanta, they're taking out Tutor a little bit as well. I feel like he cut across a little bit too much there. Definitely no space up to the inside for the Red Bull. I'm not sure if Tutor even, like, had it remotely possible to make the turn on the inside. But, yeah, that is cold-blooded murder, can't lie. Top 2 got past the AI nicely.
Thankfully, as well.
Martin has closed up to Gearshift Guru now. Really needs to make that pass to get in the 3-second window of Glenselk still for P2.
Yeah, that'd be big, because I don't think that 3-second penalty is coming off.
Nope, that
from him.
must...
So Martin,
yeah.
when he goes wide, here's Martin's chance. If Gearshift doesn't shut the door, which he doesn't. Martin, though, up to P3, but Gearshift will have the DRS coming down to the main straight. So you'd like to think Gearshift will attack again, but a very poor exit compared to Martin, I think, will be enough for Martin to hold it for now. But here comes Gearshift back down. I think he's too far back to send it. He does look to stick a wheel, but doesn't go out of it completely. But Glenn is closing up very closely to Steel Sneeze here.
Yeah, Ocean AI, wise decision to go into the pits, and it is Gearshift Guru completely losing it. Driving back all the way across the track, almost crashing into Randro there as well. Definitely a little bit of a dangerous re-entry at least. Randro now ahead of the Alpine as well. The tires really don't seem to be it anymore for him here, and he's lost another position. Now let's see what Martin can still gain, or rather let's see what the top 2 here are cooking. If there is still something left to do for them. Martin would greatly benefit of them going side by side through a couple of turns or so here. But they are not losing that time anymore. It's just a 4-second gap here for Martin that he will not overcome. And he may land on the podium after being crashed out. But it's only the 3rd step.
It is a brilliant recovery from himself in Martin. And, well, what a race. 2 late safety cars massively changing the outcome as Fanta, after penalties, is P4. But I think the 2 will get removed for Randro and Gearshift. Your top 10 secured. Gearshift finishes provision P6. Astral in P7. Good race from him. First finish of the season. Den in P8. Solar, a nice little points finish for him again. And Tutor, after what you mentioned as a cold-blooded murder, makes it through. Deddy, unlucky, gets his front wing broken. He finishes in 11th. Cuban has replaced his front wing at loads of times and finishes P12. What a race.
Yeah, very chaotic in the end. Really curious about all the incidents that we missed. But yeah, a great recovery drive by both Martin and Fanta, and even Randro to an extent here. As they all got very unlucky on the safety cars. And well, in the end, well played to Fields Nice, I guess. If there is not gonna come another penalty for that safety car restart, I'm not quite sure if he just slowed down too much, because well, the amount of front wings braking was a little bit sus. But yeah, we may see. Congrats to him
Yeah.
regardless for the on-track victory.
Yeah, no, I think that will stay regardless. Not in much contact for him. P1 for him. Glenn on the podium, followed by Martin. Good performance from him. And then you got Fanta. Very good recovery from him from the back of the grid. Makes his way to P4. Then Randro in gear shift, 5th and 6th. But I think those two could have 5-second penalties removed. So they might jump Fanta again. Astral P7, then P8. Getting some nice constructors points for Mercedes. Solar in P9. And Tutor finishing off the top 10. Deddy in 11th, Cuban in 12th, Sean in 13th, and Ocean with the 4-stop strategy finishes back of the grid.
Yeah. Well, we're just gonna go into a break real quick, as we'll be back in about 10 minutes with the elite tier portion of the racing. And yeah, we will see you on track, of course, and I will see booth with Bernard. So stay right where you are.